Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to our grade 11 technical English lesson. Today, we will continue with our lesson on teamwork, that is teamwork 2. This is on page 5 of the course book. We will also cover exercise 2 and exercise 3 on page 4 of the workbook. Though our lesson is mainly reading, our main objective is to be able to use the imperative form to give instructions. This we will achieve by changing the present simple in the text. I hope you do remember the interview with the head of Pit Stop Crew we read yesterday. We are going to use the same text now. But before we begin, let's quickly go over the vocabulary we studied in our last lesson. We have pit stop crew, mechanic, tire, fuel, hose, nozzle, and finally jack. I hope you still remember their meanings. Good. Like I said earlier, we are going to use the same text we used yesterday. Open your course books to page 4. So you have the text here. Now, imagine that you are a member of a pit stop crew. Our task is to complete this checklist of instructions for each team. Now, let's look at 2 and 3 here. They are already done. So, number 2, raise the car off the ground. And number 3, wait. What is the word? They are all, you can see that they are all instructions. Good. What is the word order of these instructions? It's verb plus object if needed. Like here, no object is needed for this one, so it's not written. Great. This is called the imperative form. Instructions are given using the imperative form. Now, in what form are the verbs? That is raise and wait. They are in the infinitive form without to. That is the base form of the verb. And imperatives use the infinitive without to. Now, let's look at different forms of the verb raise. To raise, raises, raised, raising, and raise. Which of these are not used in the imperative form? To raise is not used because it's not the base form of the verb. It has a to. Raises is not used. Raised, no. Raising, no. And the last one, raise, is the infinitive without to. It is the base form of the verb. That is what is used in imperative form. Now, let's go to the text and see how this instruction here was gotten. So, remember the instruction here is under Wheeljack team. So we go to Wheeljack team. So, yeah, great. Here we are. The 2 Wheeljack team members run to the car and place the jacks under the front and rear of the car. They raise the car off the ground and move back quickly. Now we have they raise the car off the ground. This is the present simple. To change it to an instruction, we need to discard the subject. That is, we need to discard they, and start with the base form of the verb. The verb is raised, and the base form of the verb is raise as well. So we have raise the car off the ground, just like we have here, raise the car off the ground. Pretty easy, right? Good. Let's do number one together. So number one here is still under will jerk and comes before raise the car off the ground. So let's go to the text. So now let's read again. The two wheel jack team members run to the car and place the jacks under the front and rear of the car. So this is what we have. And place the jacks under the front and rear of the car. So to get our instruction, we need to start with the base form of the verb. And what is the verb? The verb is place. Good. What is the base form of the verb? It is still place here. So now our instruction will be place the jacks under the front and rear of the car. So that is what we have. Now pause the video and complete the task. Great. Now let's check the answers. So we have 4 here. Lower the car to the ground. You see here, lower the base form of the verb. Lower, great. And now here we already have the verb. We only need to complete the instruction. Take the jacks away, and then we can move to the next one. 1, 2, 3 already done, and we need to do 4. Raise a hand to signal that everything is okay. And then the next one we have this one here, and it is take the wheels away. And we come to team 4. Number 1 is done. We need to complete number 2. You can see that we have the base form of the verb adjust. So we have adjust the air pressure in the tires. Wait. The next one is complete. And number 4, take the covers. So we just need to complete the instructions. Take the covers off the new wheels. And the next one is put the new wheels on the car. And number 5, we need to complete this one and this one. The verbs here are already here, the base form of the verb. So we have this and this. And then number 3 is pull out the fuel nozzle. And last one is clean spill fuel off the car. It's pretty much easy. All you need to remember is that the imperative form has what order of verb, that is infinitive without to, and plus the object if needed. Now we'll move to the task in the workbook. Open your workbook to page 4. We'll start with exercise number 2. Now I want you to pause. Okay. Let's read the question. Now, the question says, number the steps for refueling a plane in the best order. Great. So, these are steps for refueling a plane not in order, not in the correct order. So this one is the first step. All you need to do is to write the numbers. If look for which one you think is number 2, you just write the number in the box. Now, I want you to pause the video and read through the steps. Good. Now you can see that these steps are in the imperative form. Each one starts with the base form of the verb. So this task is mainly for you to practice, to get more familiar with the imperative form. Now, put them in the best order and we'll check our answers afterwards. Okay, great. Which one is step 2? Good. 3, 4, and 5, 6, switch off the pump. Number 7, remove the fuel nozzle. 8, and finally number 9. Great. Now let's move to our last task of the day. In this task, give these sentences the opposite meaning. Use words from 2. Section 1 on course book, page 4, pages 4 to 5. It means you're going to give these sentences the opposite meaning using words from the text. That is the interview text we read. Great. So now let's look at the first one here. The car enters the pit lane. So the opposite is the car leaves the pit lane. What do you notice? You see that the verb here is replaced with the opposite, with this opposite, enter, leave. Good. So now pause the video and complete the task. What I want you to do is, before you look at the text, try to do the task by changing the verbs, replacing the verbs with their opposites. And sometimes there are questions that you may need to change more than the verb. Great. So, great. Now, let's check our answers. The driver opens the fuel flap. So basically this one here, the verb opens. What is the opposite of the verb opens? Closes. So it is the same in the text. So we have the driver closes the fuel flap. Then number 3, they loosen the wheel nuts. And the verb here is, okay, loosen. Loosen, and the opposite of loosen is tighten. And it is the same word that is used in the text. So we have they tighten the wheel nuts. Now, number 4 is a little tricky. Now they say, it says they raise the car off the ground. So here, raise off the ground. What is the opposite of raise? It's lower. But when you lower too. So you're gonna have they raise the car off the ground. The opposite is they lower the car to the ground. So here we have someone switches on the fuel pump, and this one someone switches off the fuel pump. Number 6, they take off the old wheels, and we have they put on the new wheels. And this one is here, they take away the old wheels. To take away something, so what is the opposite? It's to bring. It's to bring out the new wheels. So let's sum up what we've done. Generally, we have looked at the imperative form to give instructions. And we understand that imperatives use the infinitive without to, that is the base form of the verb. For example, turn left at the traffic. You cannot say turned left at the traffic. You cannot say turning left at the traffic. For instruction, you cannot say that, you only use the base form of the verb. And this one, the next one, another example we have, take the jack away. So That's the end of our lesson. Thank you for watching and hope you will be with me in our next class. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.